Okay, well, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an idea of the kind of property that I have access to for my hunting. I'm just going to take a kind of a quick walk through the wooded area. There's a road up over this hill running east and west here. So as I turn this way, you can see we got kind of a tree line that goes along the field all the way this way. And this tree line here that goes down this way, and there's also a barbed wire fence, is the property line. So I'm all the way at the very west side of the property here. I'm gonna start walking, get into the woods, just to give you kind of an idea of how thick this timber is, the kind of undergrowth that there is here, some of the habitation, and also how I guess you could say easy or difficult that it would be to see things like game trails, tracks in the mud, looking for sheds, anything like that that could apply. So this is the property, the border outlined in the yellow. Got two large fields totaling about 60, probably about 60 acres or so. I think the wooded area I've measured once from an aerial view, totaling to, I think it was 23 or 24 acres. So right now where I'm standing is in the kind of top left corner marked by the red X right there. And so from there, I'll just give you a little preview of the woods. Just wanted to slow down real quick and show this rub right here. One of the things I'm always looking for. All right, here is the northern edge of the property, just to give you an idea. All this right here is the river. So this is something that can work against you and work for you if you know how to use it. So obviously the great thing about having a river like this on or near your hunting property is it's a great water source. There are ponds all around this area, but once they freeze, this is still moving. It gives deer, turkey, all sorts of wildlife great access to water, which is something that if they don't have, they won't be around. Gotta have food, gotta have cover, and you gotta have water. If you don't have all three, your wildlife population is gonna be, at least your huntable wildlife is going to be not nearly what it could be. Okay, just came across this here, just wanted to point this out, things you can be looking for while you're walking through your property. This right here is a deer scrape. So if you don't know what a deer scrape is, pretty much it's a social spot. Deers will come around, they'll paw at the dirt, they'll dig it up a little bit, they'll pee in it, they'll pee on their back legs. They have some scent glands on their back legs that leave their unique scent. It tells other deer that they're here, especially during the rut. We'll tell them, stay out, this is my area. Definitely something to look for. You can also see there's some somewhat low hanging branches right above it. They also have scent glands all around their antlers, nose, eyes, and their head area that they rough around the branches and leave their scent as well. Definitely something that gives you a clue to what's going on. And that's what's awesome about being out here, especially this time of year, is you can see evidence of what's happened during your previous hunting season, which will then give you insight to your future hunting season and seasons, where the deer are moving, maybe some more populated areas you didn't think of hunting. So these are just little things that all add up and kind of tell the story of what happened during the previous hunting season and the previous rut. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. Another thing you can keep an eye out for, sticks or little branches that are kind of freshly broken off. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on this here. So these things are kind of fresh breakage, and I don't know how well you can see it here on the camera, but if we step back, there is a bit of a game trail going right through here. Again, these are all clues you can use to find where the deer are going and give you some insight into hunting. Alright, so that's about as far as I'm going to go here. Just like with when you're deer hunting, when you're walking through your property, of course human pressure is human pressure. It's going to push game, deer especially, off your property onto neighboring properties where they don't have that pressure. And right now the reason that I'm being somewhat cautious with that is because shed hunting is going to be coming up. Antlers haven't started falling yet, and I want the deer to be on this property as much as possible during that time. And because, you know, during shed hunting, you cover a lot of ground, and you may at that time push deer off, but you definitely don't want to be doing that before shed hunting season, because then they're not going to be on your property when they shed their antlers, and that's no good. So I think that about does it here. Walking around, showed you a scrape, briefly described that, and showed you a couple rubs, and just a couple different things that you can look for while you're walking around your property to start getting ready for your next season. So for me, again, it's February 1st. I already consider this me starting my hunting season for 2017, which will be starting in September here in Kansas. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but right now is such a great time to get out and again find the evidence of what has been happening, where the deer have been moving, and give you an insight to areas maybe you didn't really consider or didn't think that would be good hunting spots. When you find those scrapes and those rubs and these trails, they're out here. You just got to look for them. You got to kind of train your eyes, spend time out here, and again, you got to consider every time you're out here. When everyone that's watching this is watching it because we all have the same passion, and that's what it's all about. So with that, I pray everyone has a blessed 2017, and that if you have any questions, please contact me, leave it in the comments. If there's something you want to see, if there's something you want to see me do or try, or want me to clarify something maybe I didn't go over so well, leave it in the comments. I'll read every comment that comes through. I will put videos up specifically pertaining to your comments and your questions. And that's what I want. I want this to be very interactive. I want people to give me tips. I want to give people tips, and that's what it's about. Everyone wants to get better. Everyone wants to spend time out here and enjoy their time out here to the max. So leave comment, subscribe, watch for future videos. I'm going to be trying to put some content out as much as possible, at least a video a week, even if it's just a short segment on one little thing. But so stay tuned. We're gonna have a great 2017. One last thing I wanted to show you before I wrap this little segment up is I showed you the scrape I found while I was walking through the woods just a little bit ago, and I wanted to show you a scrape that I made myself this past fall. See how good we can see it here. So you can see there's a little bit left here of bare dirt and a little one here, and I'll show you. You can see it a little bit there. So this is what I wanted to point out. So it was probably August, early to mid-August, this last fall prior to hunting season. I decided to try to make this mock scrape. All I did was I just did it with my boot. Those two little spots right there, I just dug down the best I could with my boots down to the dirt, made it clear. I figured, you know, once it gets a little bit closer to the rut, that I would maybe get some doe urine or even buck urine and start putting it on this scrape to try to get this thing moving along. And to my surprise, within weeks, before archery season even started, like end of August, deer were hitting this thing. Both does and bucks were all over this thing day and night. I couldn't believe it. And it's really all about location. So I'll show you right over here is a pretty thick wooded area. But when you look around this area, it's fairly open. This is a pretty good travel area for deer. The river's just, I don't know if you can really see it, just right on the other side of this tree line, right here. And let's see, right over there is a tree stand. It's 31 yards away from where I'm at right here. So I made this mock scrape, again, like I showed you earlier. Low-hanging branches, that's such a key here. And you can see all the little pieces that are broke off just from being rubbed on. And it was amazing. It's something I definitely plan on continuing to do. Even if it's not a place to hunt over, it's a great place to get pictures, which is a very important part. That's another segment I'll be talking about probably a couple times throughout the years, using trail cameras for hunting. And it's also just fun. I have a lot of fun finding places to strategically put trail cameras, figure out kind of angles to get neat pictures and kind of unique pictures. And that's something I did here. I put my camera down 6 inches off the ground maybe, and just got some cool angles of deer here in this scrape. If you're kind of newer to hunting or never really heard of using mock scrapes or hunting over scrapes, the advantage of it is if you're hunting over it, it's something that it'll cause the deer to stop for, you know, long enough to get that shot off to where you don't have to try to make a sound to get them to stop, which always puts them on alert. It's just a great tool, and again, you can use it for your trail cameras, which can help you determine you know, when certain deer are moving in daylight hours and so on and so forth. But again, we'll get into that. I just wanted to show you this quick little mock scrape that I made, and how surprised I was at how good it really worked. It was really cool, and it was a lot of fun to see how that worked. So if you have any questions about scrapes, what they are, what deer use them for, or how to do mock scrapes, certain things to look for with mock scrapes. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about that. So definitely leave your comments below, questions, and subscribe for future content. We're going to be putting a lot of things out here this spring. Once we get things rolling and we kind of get our system down, we're going to, like I said, we have tons of guests that are willing to come on and share kind of their areas of expertise. I'm really hoping, one thing I'd really like to get in this year is a friend of mine builds his own longbows and recurves, and that's a process that I myself want to be a part of, as well as take you along with us and see about how that whole process works. And again, just getting more into archery, and archery is another passion of mine, even besides the hunting part of it. Just the archery is just a blast. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a good 2017.